Imagine losing more than just strength as you get older. Imagine your energy, your confidence, even your sense of yourself quietly slipping away, and no one tells you why. That's what happens to thousands of men every year. It's not disease, it's not obvious, it's the hidden cost of neglecting the very habits that once kept your body and mind alive. Every year, thousands of men over 60 quietly lose strength, sexual function, and mental clarity, all while believing they are doing the right thing by giving up certain habits they once considered unnecessary. For decades, many were taught that self-pleasure was shameful or immature. And now, in later life, that same belief is quietly robbing them of essential health. Because here's the part few people discuss openly. Abstaining from masturbation at an older age doesn't simply pause your sexual life, it triggers cascading effects in your body. I'm Dr. Sophia Jain, a board-certified men's health specialist with decades of experience helping men over 60 reclaim their energy, strength, and confidence. I've worked with veterans, teachers, farmers, and grandfathers who thought they were acting responsibly by abstaining. I've watched them realize too late that old societal rules, once considered moral guidance, were quietly harming their bodies and spirits. Now, here's the encouraging part. This situation isn't permanent. In this video, I'll walk you through 4 crucial consequences that happen when men stop engaging in sexual activity after 60, and, more importantly, how to stop them before they cause harm. These are practical, science-backed methods I've used with hundreds of men to help them regain balance, strength, confidence, and protect their prostate health. Stick with me until the end because the final consequence I'll reveal is rarely discussed, yet it could silently triple your risk of prostate issues if left unaddressed. This is about safeguarding your body, your independence, and your sense of identity as a man. Before we begin, tell us in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We're reading and replying to every single comment, so drop your comments below. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Let's start with perhaps the most immediate and alarming effect, the decline of sexual function itself. Picture a man in his late 60s entering my clinic, frustrated and confused. He hasn't experienced a spontaneous erection for months, sometimes over a year. The shock isn't just in the performance, it's the suddenness. One day, everything feels normal. The next, his body seems to stop responding. Most men don't realize that sexual function, much like muscle, requires regular engagement to remain healthy. Your penis isn't just a reproductive organ. It's a delicate system of blood vessels, nerves, and tissues. When sexual stimulation stops, especially after 60, blood flow diminishes, oxygen delivery slows, and tissues begin to stiffen in ways that lead to fibrosis and nerve damage. Think of it like ceasing all movement in your legs for months. Muscles weaken, flexibility fades, coordination suffers. The penis behaves the same way when left unused, gradually shutting down instead of staying in standby mode. This process is insidious because it doesn't announce itself. Morning erections fade quietly. The body's natural responses diminish, and even medications may struggle to restore function if the foundation has eroded. I've seen men arrive in tears asking if it's too late to recover. In many cases, recovery is possible, but only with consistent effort, lifestyle adjustments, and medical support. Others waited too long, believing that abstinence was harmless. In truth, it was the first step toward functional decline. Now, don't misunderstand me. This isn't about indulgence or obsession with sex. It's about circulation, hormone regulation, and masculine identity. Occasional self-pleasure, even once or twice a week, keeps the blood flowing, nerves alive, and the body reminded that this function matters. The principle is simple. What you don't use, you risk losing, sometimes permanently. But sexual function is only the beginning. The second consequence strikes at something even deeper, your hormones. Testosterone levels don't just drop naturally with age. They decline faster when sexual stimulation disappears entirely. Men report subtle but alarming changes: less morning energy, diminished motivation, flatter moods, and creeping fatigue. Muscle mass wanes, bones become more fragile, and mental sharpness begins to slip, all because the body interprets inactivity as a signal to slow down. Here's something most men don't realize. Masturbation isn't just about desire or fantasy, it's a biological signal your body needs. Every time you engage in sexual activity, even solo, your brain and testicles get a message. This function matters. Keep producing testosterone. That signal keeps your hormones balanced, your energy up, and your motivation alive, even well into your 60s and 70s. But when that signal disappears, your body interprets it as a green light to slow down. Testosterone dips, dopamine drops, and suddenly the things that used to excite or motivate you feel distant. Energy fades, focus slips, and a subtle but unmistakable sense of yourself starts to erode. It's quiet at first, almost invisible, but over time it affects everything, from your mood to your confidence to the way you approach each day. The key point here is simple. Your body responds to signals, not intentions. Ignore them, and decline begins. Honor them, even in small ways, and you maintain strength, focus, and energy. One that many older men silently endure without realizing its connection to inactivity. This is prostate congestion, a condition that builds gradually and can interfere with daily life long before you notice it. Men often describe it as a dull heaviness in the pelvis, occasional pressure when sitting, or the frustrating need to urinate even when the bladder isn't full. It's subtle, creeping, and easily mistaken for normal aging. But in reality, it's your body's way of telling you it needs movement, specifically the natural release of seminal fluid. When sexual activity ceases entirely, fluid accumulates, thickens, and triggers inflammation. Think of the prostate as a delicate filtration system. Its job isn't just storage, it's circulation, maintenance, and cleansing. When ejaculation stops, the fluid stagnates. Over time, this stagnation can lead to chronic prostatitis, painful inflammation, or in severe cases, the need for medical intervention. The worst part? Many men don't realize the connection until months or even years of discomfort have passed. Regular sexual activity or masturbation is essentially the prostate's natural flush. It prevents fluid buildup, keeps tissues healthy, and lowers long-term risk. In fact, studies suggest that men who ejaculate regularly may even have a reduced risk of prostate cancer. While the exact mechanism is still being explored, the principle is clear. Motion matters. Stagnation increases inflammation and vulnerability. I've treated men who went years without any release, believing they didn't need it anymore. Their PSA levels spiked, imaging showed congestion, and suddenly discussions about biopsies entered the conversation. This could have been prevented with a simple, natural habit, a consistent, low-pressure approach to sexual release that maintains circulation and protects the gland. And this is where misconceptions about giving up sexual activity become dangerous. It's not about indulgence or desire, it's about care and respect for your body. After 60, every system benefits from attention. Neglecting the prostate is not harmless. It can lead to chronic discomfort, sleepless nights, and long-term complications that disrupt life more than most men realize. Now, while these physical and hormonal shifts are alarming, the most insidious consequence isn't visible at all. It's emotional and psychological, a slow erosion of self-esteem, confidence, and inner vitality. This is where neglect hits hardest, because it silently shapes how a man feels about himself long before any test or measurement can detect a problem. Many older men stop masturbating thinking it's just a minor lifestyle choice. I'm not in a relationship anymore, it's not necessary. But over time, this choice subtly disconnects them from a vital source of self-recognition and pleasure. Dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins, all essential for mood regulation, stress relief, and mental sharpness, begin to decline. Without these chemicals, men often report sadness, irritability, or a sense of emptiness. I've spoken to men who describe feeling invisible, unnecessary or hollow. They aren't physically ill, yet their emotional health suffers. They withdraw socially, avoid mirrors, and speak less confidently. This isn't about lust. It's about keeping the mind and body aligned, even in later life. When the connection between physical stimulation and mental well-being is severed, the body sends a quiet but powerful message. It's losing vitality. Think of it this way. Just as your muscles atrophy without exercise, your emotional and neurochemical systems lose strength without regular sexual engagement. And unlike muscle loss, these changes can affect confidence, relationships, and overall joy, core components of quality of life that most men never anticipate losing. Here's what you really need to understand. Ignoring these subtle, natural processes isn't harmless. It quietly undermines your body, your mind, and your spirit. But here's the good news. With simple, consistent action, these declines can be slowed, prevented, or even reversed. Your body remembers how to function, your prostate can be supported, and your emotional health can thrive if you honor this overlooked part of yourself. All it takes is recognizing the warning signs and connecting the dots between your habits and your health. Once you see the pattern, you gain the power to make changes that truly stick. Your body has been silently sending warnings, and recognizing them is the first step to reclaiming control. Once you understand the impact of these changes, the next step is taking action, practical strategies that can restore vitality and protect your health. Now that we've seen the physical and emotional consequences of complete sexual inactivity, let's talk about solutions. The steps that can protect your body and mind as you age. The first area to focus on is your hormonal health. Testosterone isn't just about sex. It fuels energy, cognitive sharpness, muscle strength, and overall confidence. Even after 60, your body is capable of maintaining healthy hormone levels if it receives the right signals. One of the most effective natural ways to stimulate testosterone is through regular sexual activity, including masturbation. This triggers the hypothalamus in the brain, boosts dopamine, and tells your testicles, keep producing testosterone. It's a simple biological feedback loop that older men often overlook. Beyond sexual stimulation, lifestyle habits amplify these benefits. Moderate resistance training, for example, signals the body to produce more testosterone while improving circulation. Compound exercises like squats or push-ups stimulate muscle groups that support hormonal balance. Even 20 to 30 minutes 3 times a week can make a noticeable difference. Nutrition also plays a critical role. Foods rich in zinc, vitamin D, and healthy fats, think salmon, eggs, pumpkin seeds, and avocados, provide the building blocks for hormone production. Hydration is essential too. Every cell in your body, including hormone-producing ones, relies on adequate water intake. Sleep is another powerful tool. Deep, restorative sleep is when your body naturally regenerates testosterone and growth hormone. Men who compromise sleep, even slightly, often experience faster hormonal decline. Prioritizing consistent, quality rest can feel deceptively simple, but it's one of the most impactful strategies for maintaining vitality. Once hormonal health is addressed, the next focus is prostate wellness. We discussed how stagnation can lead to inflammation, discomfort, and a higher long-term risk. The most effective preventative measure is movement, both physical and sexual. Gentle pelvic exercises, regular walks, and occasional masturbation keep the prostate flushed and healthy. Think of it as a maintenance routine. Just like oil keeps an engine running smoothly, regular release keeps your prostate functioning optimally. Even a couple of sessions a week can significantly reduce pressure, prevent fluid buildup, and help avoid chronic inflammation. At the same time, addressing emotional and cognitive health is crucial. Older men often ignore the mental side of sexual decline, assuming it's irrelevant. But pleasure, intimacy, and sexual expression release endorphins and oxytocin, chemicals that protect your brain, reduce anxiety, and enhance emotional resilience. Without them, men are at higher risk of depression, isolation, and a fading sense of purpose. I've seen men who, after months or years of abstinence, describe feeling hollow, disconnected from themselves. Reintroducing even light, respectful sexual activity helped them reclaim energy, confidence, and a renewed sense of identity. It wasn't about lust. It was about reconnecting with the very systems that keep them alive, engaged, and happy. The final piece of the puzzle is consistency and education. Many men fear indulgence or believe it's morally wrong, but the science is clear. Gentle, consistent attention to sexual health preserves not just function, but your emotional and physical well-being. A few small, regular habits can prevent years of decline and restore a sense of control over your body and mind. For example, simple routines like pelvic floor exercises, moderate resistance training, proper nutrition, and weekly sexual activity, even solo, create a powerful synergy. Circulation improves, hormones stabilize, the prostate remains healthy, and dopamine levels keep your mind sharp. These are not extreme measures. They are practical, achievable habits that put the power back in your hands. Remember, age does not mean inevitable decline. Your body retains plasticity, your mind can remain sharp, and your hormones can be supported long past 60. The difference is choice, consistent attention versus neglect. Those choices determine whether you slowly lose function, energy, and confidence, or maintain them for decades. It all comes down to understanding that small, deliberate habits compound over time. What you do today sets the foundation for your vitality tomorrow, and it's never too late to start. Reclaiming vitality isn't about chasing youth. It's about respecting your body and mind even in later years. Small, deliberate actions today protect your energy, your self-esteem, and your independence. With that in mind, let's move to the final step. The simple, science-backed practices men over 60 can adopt immediately to restore vitality, emotional well-being, and physical function. This is where prevention turns into empowerment. It's one thing to understand the why. Now it's about translating that knowledge into habits you can actually follow every day. These small, consistent actions are what turn insight into real, lasting results. Now, let's translate everything we've discussed into practical, achievable steps that men over 60 can start today. These aren't extreme routines or complicated protocols. They are simple, science-backed habits that protect sexual function, hormone levels, prostate health, and emotional vitality, all in one integrated approach. Step 1, gentle, regular sexual activity. This can be solo or with a partner. Even once or twice a week sends crucial signals to your body that sexual function is still needed. It keeps circulation flowing, nerves active, and hormones responsive. Remember, this is about maintenance, not indulgence. Step 2, exercise consistently. Moderate resistance training, like squats, push-ups, or light weightlifting, stimulates testosterone, improves circulation, and strengthens muscles that support prostate health. Pair this with daily movement, even just a brisk 15-minute walk, to maintain overall vitality. Step 3, nutrition and hydration. Focus on zinc-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, lean meats, and legumes. Healthy fats from avocados, olive oil, and fatty fish support hormone production. Drink plenty of water. Cells, hormones, and tissues all rely on it to function optimally. Step 4, prioritize sleep. Deep, restorative rest is when your body regenerates hormones, repairs tissues, and balances brain chemistry. Even small improvements in sleep quality can dramatically affect energy, mood, and sexual function. Step 5, mental and emotional engagement. Recognize that pleasure, intimacy, and self-connection aren't luxuries. They're essential for mood, dopamine regulation, and mental sharpness. Allow yourself small, regular doses of joy, whether through masturbation, shared intimacy, or other forms of personal connection. In combination, these steps form a holistic framework for maintaining masculinity, health, and confidence well into your 60s and beyond. They are preventative, practical, and empowering because they give control back to you. Your body responds to consistent signals. Your mind thrives when you honor your needs, and your prostate stays healthier when movement and circulation are preserved. Here's the truth most people overlook. Getting older doesn't automatically mean losing your strength or vitality. Neglect equals decline. When you pay attention to your sexual, physical, and emotional health, you can maintain vitality, energy, and purpose far longer than most people assume. Every small, consistent choice adds up. Every effort reinforces your identity, your health, and your confidence. So today, commit to one small action. Schedule a brief walk. Make a nutrient-rich meal. Do a set of simple exercises, or reconnect with your own body in a safe, respectful way. These are not trivial. They are the building blocks of longevity and self-respect. Remember, it's never too late to reclaim what you thought was lost. Your body remembers how to respond. Your mind craves engagement, and your emotional health thrives when you honor all parts of yourself. The years ahead can be vibrant, energetic, and fulfilling if you act now. Take this to heart. What you do today can shape your strength, energy, and confidence for years to come. Start with one small action today and let it build into another. Your vitality, confidence, and well-being are worth every effort. Even in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, you still have the power to protect your body, restore your energy, and reclaim the life you deserve. And finally, remember this: small, consistent actions are far more powerful than occasional extremes. Honor your body, nurture your mind, and embrace your sexuality responsibly. That is the real key to longevity, happiness, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're still fully alive.